So this is a look at the Xbox One Backwards Compatibility that just launched for everyone on the Xbox One. Now if you didn't know, Rare Replay actually used this system for the Xbox 360 titles, and if you played them, you know that they ran horrendously. So hopefully they have improved that. So let's have a look. So before we actually get into how it all works, I'll link to the page where you can see all the Xbox 360 games that are available on the backwards compatibility program. If you go to the page, it shows you these fan favorites first, these big 8. They're trying to push these big 8, like you've got Gears of War 3, Fallout 3, Assassin's Creed 2, Borderlands, Fable 2, Just Cause 2, Mass Effect and Mirror's Edge. Those are some pretty strong titles. Me personally, I'd like to play Gears of War again. Now in total you got about just over 100, and it's quite a weird selection. You go from like Beyond Good and Evil HD to World of Keflings to Kolaware the Gunslinger. I love saying that. You got Dirt 3, Dirt Showdown. You've obviously got all the Gears games on there. You've got all the Rare Replay stuff. You've got stuff like Doom 1 and Doom 2 and Dungeon Siege 3. You got stuff like Tron Evolution. It's quite an all over the place selection, but you know, it's good, it's diverse, there's a lot there, so hopefully it would make everyone happy. Also on this page, which I'll link to in the description, they are showing more titles on the way. You've got stuff like Call of Duty Black Ops, Bioshock Infinite and Halo, and Skate 3, which I think a lot of people would want to play again. Personally, I never played it. Personally, I'm hoping for Red Dead Redemption. Please, I want to play it badly. Okay, so how do we download these on our Xbox One? Well, apparently you're supposed to go to My Games, your My Games app, and go to where stuff can be installed. But it wasn't there for me, which was a bit strange. So I went to the store, typed in Fable 2, because I wanted to download that, and I managed to install it via that route. But then I had an update, which took about 40 minutes because for some reason Xbox Live is just super slow, or the consoles are just super slow to download stuff. And when the update happened, I went to My Games apps. For some reason they completely changed the UI and made it a pain in the ass to find anything again. But then when I went to stuff to install, that could be installed, it was all there. It was all there, so it just had to do the update. For some reason it didn't update as soon as I put the console on. Bit weird, but that's how you find them. So I would recommend downloading only one, just for testing purposes. Luckily, they're not as big as Xbox One games, but a lot of them do pile up, so you may want to get a bigger hard drive. I think a lot of people will probably only have one game they'll play on this, and I'll go into that later. But yeah, it's going to take a while to install all this stuff. I did it overnight, and in the morning it was all done. Okay then, lovely, we're downloading the games, but what about our saves? Well, you need to get your 360 out. I got my 360 out, and there was a fucking update for like a 10-year-old console. Lovely. That took a while as well. It took about half an hour. And to get your saves, you're going to need to go over to your hard drive, obviously, find the game, find the save, then click on it, copy it to your cloud saves. If you don't have your cloud saves enabled, it will ask you to enable it, and then you can do it. If copying doesn't work, move it over, but moving it over will take it away from the place it originally came from. Copying it keeps it where it was originally was, but you'll have another file of it on the cloud save. So do it for all the games you want to do. Do it for maybe Black Ops if you own that. I did it for Black Ops because I know that's actually coming over. I did it for Halo Wars because that's coming to the backwards compatibility program. I also did copy Red Dead Redemption over just in case it ever eventually does come to the backwards compatibility program. I probably wouldn't recommend doing it, but it's your choice. But if you don't do it and it does come out, you'll have to get your 360 out again if you put it away, and oh god, it's a mess. It's a real mess. Also, for something like Banjo, Kazooie, Nuts and Bolts, if you want all your blueprints to be carried over, you'll have to do every single one by hand. You can't just select all of them. No, you've got to do every single fucking one. And I have like 100. Oh dear. Okay then. So once you've done that, you can go back onto your Xbox One. Pick the game you want to play. As it loads up, it will sync your cloud storage and your save should be there. So here you have it, Fable 2 running on an Xbox One. And it runs like shit. It runs way worse than it did on a 360. They haven't improved it at all. Fuck you. The frame rate is considerably lower than it was on the 360, but which is a bit of a piss take, I think, considering how much work it takes to actually get your saves over. It's quite, it takes a long time to download all this stuff, and yeah, it doesn't really make for the most enjoyable play experience, to be honest with you. But you can play your games on your 360 games on the Xbox One. Now in cinematic FPS of about 20. But it does look nice. It looks nice because it's Fable 2, and Fable 2 looked nice, and Fable 2 is way better than Fable 3. I can't really say much else about Fable 2. It's a very good game. It introduced me to RPGs. It's basically Babby's first RPG, but it's a very good Babby's first RPG. It controls worse than I remember though, but it's still a fantastic game. But I don't know if I'd recommend playing it on the Xbox One. If you've already got your 360 out to get the saves over, you might as well just play it on your 360. And here a friend comes online on the 360. You can press the Microsoft button, is it? Is that what it's called? I'm not sure what the official name of the big round button is. But you can press that and you've got all your Xbox One features. It just pauses the game and you can seamlessly do all that stuff, which is nice. I think that's probably one of the biggest bonuses of having this on the Xbox One. Moving over to Mass Effect now, and I luckily had a save that was basically at the start of the game, so in case you want to play it, it doesn't spoil anything. And I must say this is easily the best in the franchise. It's very rough, and it didn't run very well before, and now it runs worse. It runs even worse. And if you played it on the 360, you know it ran really bad, and now it runs worse. So, yeah. Enjoy your 10 FPS in Mass Effect. But it is the best in the series. It's definitely worth a playthrough if you haven't played it. But again, I don't know if I can recommend playing it on the Xbox One. It's just quite an unpleasant experience. But I cannot stress how much better I think this is compared to Mass Effect 2 and 3, because it's an actual fucking RPG. It's just very rare these days, isn't it, to actually find RPGs that actually have RPG elements and aren't just casualized and dumbed down and don't let you do anything. Okay, moving over to something a little different here. Toy Soldiers. Toy Soldiers is an amazing tower defense game where you can actually control the towers yourself. And I was a bit worried at first because I couldn't actually get the save from the hard drive on my 360, but it didn't matter. I guess it's just online anyway, and it kept all my progress, it kept all my scores, so that was fine. This Toy Soldiers in particular is the Cold War one. There's 3 of them. You've got the first one, which I personally think is my favourite, just because of the setting, and you got the travesty of a third one, which was War Chest, and Ubisoft completely fucked it up because it's Ubisoft. But Cold War is still excellent. It's a lot of fun. You can play as silly action figures, like a Rambo-inspired action figure. It's a tower defense game. Tower defense games are stupidly fun anyway, and you can actually control the towers yourself. But as you can see, this is one of the games that actually runs fine. It had some frame rate issues on the 360, especially when using the Rambo action figure. From what I can tell, it runs the same, which is good. which, well, it shouldn't be good because the 360 version had frame rate issues, but you know what I mean. It's fucking good that it runs the same and doesn't run worse. This is a type of game that I would definitely play again on my Xbox One. It's a great game. Go back through the levels, you know, try and beat your score. It's so much fun to play. It's so much fun to play. It's got so much charm to it. So this sentence I'm trying to say, I can't say at all. So I'm going to try it, and if I fuck it up, I apologise. I checked the original toy soldiers. I can't say that to save my life. Just to make sure the progress had carried over. It did, because again, for some reason, I couldn't find the save in the hard drive on my 360. But the progress carried over perfectly fine. My scores are all there. So that's good. So I also went back on Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Bolts to see if it had been improved at all. No, the frame rate in Shadowtown is unplayable. You cannot play this in Shadowtown. And Shadowtown has quite a lot of exploration to do. So if you want to explore it, and you're playing it on the Xbox One, good God, God help you. Because the frame rate is fucked on this game. It's absolutely fucked. Now for some reason, in the actual worlds, in the actual levels, it runs fine, smooth. I checked the last world, I checked the Gigoseum, and I checked the Banjo land. And they're smooth. Fine. You can easily play it. So why in the town it runs at like 15 FPS, I don't know. My only guess is the NPCs. I think the town might actually be bigger than the actual worlds or the levels. And the town might have more stuff crammed into it, and that might be why. But I don't remember it running this bad on the 360, but it has been like over 5 years. But fuck me, does this game still look absolutely gorgeous. The water is lovely. And the colours are so nice and vibrant. It hasn't aged one bit. The only thing that's aged is the frame rate, which is quite a big thing to age. But graphically, it still is so lovely to look at. And I'm glad I had no loyalty to the series, because if I'd have played 1 and 2 and had loyalty to it, hopefully, maybe I would have still enjoyed it. But maybe I wouldn't have. And if I couldn't have enjoyed this, I would have been very sad, because I really, really love this game. I was younger when I played it, so, you know, the creativity of it definitely appealed to me more. Okay, so now, what about discs? Okay, so I got Gears of War 3 here, and I'm gonna get it out. My lovely hands. My lovely hands. Oh wait, there's something in there. What could it be? Oh yeah, it's Halo 5. That can go in the bin. It's a piece of fucking shit. Put Gears of War 3 in. And so when you put the game in, you just get a pop-up, says it needs an update, and then you just download it. Simple as that. You just put it in, you download it. It would have been nice to have just put it in and played it, and because you know, with all the hard drive space, you know, you don't have unlimited hard drive space. If you did, it wouldn't be an issue. But yeah, just install it. Easy. And also, while that was happening, I put Fallout 3 in, and it just let me do it while Gears of War 3 was downloading. So if you do put a load of discs in to download, keep them on hand. You're going to need them. Okay then, so Gears of War 3 downloaded. I press it. And you need the disc. You need to put the disc in. Otherwise it will not start it. So that's why I said you're going to need your discs. Okay, so I put the disc in. And it kept my level, which was nice. It kept all my online progress. So I go to try a versus match of Team Deathmatch. It says there are about 900 players in total in Team Deathmatch. But I have missing content. I thought it would automatically have already downloaded all the content, but no. So to do this, you need to go to your My Games and Apps, manage the game, and then you can click on it there, and it will just let you install it all. So it's not really that big of a deal. So after all that had downloaded, I went back into the game, and it had dropped 100 players from Team Deathmatch. Was a bit weird, but I did find a match basically instantly. And here we are in Gears of War 3 multiplayer on the Xbox One. And it still looks very nice, which surprised me. It looks really nice. It's very colourful, which is why I only like this Gears of War. I don't actually like 2 or 1, and I think the main reason I don't like 2 and 1 is because they are very boring to look at. But oh my god, I do not know how to play Gears of War anymore. I felt like throwing up after playing this because the game and the camera is so disorientating. It's all over the place. It's crazy. It's It's a crazy, and I was failing pretty bad here. I used to be good at Gears of War 3 multiplayer. I played a lot of it. Like I said, Gears of War 3 was the only Gears of War I was actually able to get into. But once you do get a slight grip of the controls again, my god, is this game so fucking good. This game is really, really, really good. It's easily the best in the series. It's a shame that Judgment was so shit after this. I firmly believe this is the best in the series. And as you can see, the game runs completely fine. Every now and then, like very rarely, there's a frame rate drop. But I'm not sure if that was how it was when it originally came out. This is one of the ones that does run perfectly fine. I realised as I was playing that I was actually fighting against bots. And there was only one real human on the enemy team. Now, as I played it, more people did come in, but only a couple more. So it would be nice if the whole Xbox One backwards compatibility actually invigorated some more players into multiplayer games. That would be quite nice, but I highly doubt it. But I would like to be proven wrong. And to close off the video, we will end with a classic Fallout 3, and it runs quite badly. It did run quite badly. There's quite a bit of skipping, some pretty big frame rate drops. Sometimes even when you shot the gun, the audio was delayed by about 5 seconds. As you can see there, big stutter. But I'd still rather play this over Fallout 4, even like this. Yeah. And it looks better than Fallout 4. It looks better than Fallout 4. It really fucking does. And I said earlier about the fact that people will probably only have one game that they'll play on this, and that's because of how bad stuff runs. People will probably accept it for that one game that they fucking love and they want to play again, and they don't want to have their 360 out. But for everything else, I don't think they'll accept it. And I don't think they'll be willing to play at such a bad performance. But yeah, they're the obvious games, like Fable 2, because you can't get it on PC. If Red Dead Redemption ever does come to the backwards compatibility program, that will obviously be one of them. But the fact you've got to get your 360 out to get your save over. So why not just fucking play it on there? I'm doing all this hard work. Well, it's not that hard work, but you know what I mean. You've got to go through all these steps to have a inferior play experience. Overall, though, it seems we've been waiting a long time for this. It's quite a hassle to get your saves to work. It's quite a long time to download stuff. And you've got to download all the add-ons again. I don't think it's worth it. For how bad the games run, I really don't think it's worth it. It's been 2 years. And the games, some of the games are almost unplayable now because of how bad it emulates the games. I mean, it's impressive, but it's still not exactly very playable. So I will end the video there. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's taken a long time to do this, and now I'm very tired. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.